Welcome to another virtual event for Appa's Walk for the Arts 2020. Tonight, Appa alumna Taylor Wendell will be hosting a panel of Appa alumni. Tune in right now as we air their Zoom session.
I'm Taylor Wendell, and this is our group of alumni from Appa. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. Wow. So we have assembled here today to kind of just reminisce about our time in the programs that we were in, talk about some memories that we have. I'll be going down my line of Zoom folks and just asking questions to have a good time. So I will start. I am Taylor Wendell. I was in musical theater all 4 years. I was in MMET for a week. I was in acting and dramatic productions for 2 years and dance for 3 years. So I had a very packed Appa schedule and was kind of all over the place. I'm going to start our interview questions with the first person on my screen, Carly.
Hi.
Hi, Carly. Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself, what departments you were in, and what you're doing now.
Hi, so I'm Carly. I was in musical theater all 4 years, and I think I was a dance minor for 3 years. Right now, I am working as a recruiter, so I work for a healthcare staffing agency, which is really cool. And I thankfully am still able to perform and everything on the side, so I kind of get to do a little bit of both. Yeah, that's,
Okay.
Getting through COVID and haven't been performing much, but because of everything going on. But yeah, just getting through.
I think we're all in the same boat there, but doing the best we can. Okay,
Yeah.
So are you ready for your 2 questions?
Sure, let's do it.
Number 3. All right. What was one of your favorite classes while you were in Appa?
I'm gonna go with Surf City Singers. Just because I loved Surf City. It was so much fun. I was lucky that a lot of my friends were in the class with me, so we would always kind of just bounce off each other's, changing up the duets.
Mm-hmm.
Having Tim and Diane there, we couldn't help but get us through, and it was really fun. So
Yep.
I'd say Surf City.
Okay, which year?
That's a lot.
There's a correct answer.
Yeah, let's go with senior year. Let's
There
do
you
that.
go. When I was there with you guys. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, Surf City was always a good time. Okay. And then 4, do you have an embarrassing or funny Appa memory that you would be willing to share? One that makes you laugh when you look back on it.
Let's see. All right, we'll go with Drowsy Chaperone when I was Mrs. Tottendale.
Yes.
It was our second there were a lot of funny things in that show. But I will go with me learning how to do a spit take. So
iconic. Yours was perfect.
I was Mrs. Tottendale. I was this old lady. I was an elderly lady in the show. It was really fun. I had to do a spit take with Mitchell Webb. That was one of our scenes. And I'd never done it before. So Steven Sass was outside trying to teach me how to do the spit take. And me and the other Mrs. Tottendale could not figure it out. But Tim was like, no, guys, we're just going to try it. Let's go. So I went on the stage and I tried to do it. And water just completely fell out of my mouth and all over Mitchell's shoes. So I think that one is probably my favorite.
Those spit take rehearsals were so funny. Just being on stage and Tim being like, oh no, let's do it again.
And Mary Frances and I are like, we can't do this. We're not good at it.
And poor Mitchell is just he just keeps getting soaked and soaked and soaked in water.
Good times, man. Good times.
Good time. I wasn't in Appa yet, but I remember seeing that show. You were a star, and then we had Trevin as Mr. Aldolfo.
Oh, it was so good.
Yes. Good. Okay. Well, thank you, Carly. I love you.
I love you.
Besties. Okay. Let's move on to my other musical theater girl, Hannah Davis.
Hi, I'm Hannah Davis, and I was a musical theater major and a dance minor all 4 years of high school, and now I'm an event coordinator for a wedding management company.
Woot woot. All right, are you ready for your questions?
Yes, let's go.
We're starting with number 4. Again, embarrassing or funny Appa memory.
Oh, there's too many. I mean, it's definitely memorable. Since I had my pain problems, everybody knows about this. I think the most memorable one was definitely when I fainted in class during modern dance, and Marie literally almost had a heart attack. I felt so bad, but it was like the first time she was like, Hannah, and she's like, you can never do that to me ever again.
And we're all like, it's fine, just pull her to the side. This happens.
She's good.
Keep going. You survived. You were fine.
I did. I survived. It was all good. I still danced. I continued on.
Yes. Good. All right. Your next one is number 1. What was your favorite or one of your favorite Appa shows that you were in?
Chorus Line. I think Chorus Line was really one of my favorite ones. The music literally has always been my favorite since I was little. I got to perform it not only here in the US, but I also got to perform in Scotland, which was an experience in whole. And I got to be with my best friends, and it was my senior year, so it was very memorable to be a part of.
Fun. Yeah. No, that was Scotland. Always fun. Chorus Line. Classic. Thank you, Hannah. I love you. All right. Now we're moving on to Austin.
Hi.
Hello.
It's nice to see you, Taylor. It's been so long, it feels like.
Good to see you too. I've known you since you were what, like 11, 12?
Yeah, something like that. I know. Those nights where you would drive me home. Every year, I never got my license till right before I left for college, so every year I had someone driving me home, and you were the first one, so.
It was an honor.
Anyway.
I feel so special. All right, so what did you do in Appa, and what do you do now?
I was a musical theater major and a dance minor at Appa, and now I'm a junior musical theater major and double minor in dance and applied music at Point Park University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Snaps for Austin. Being a star. I love it. Okay, are you ready for your questions?
I'm ready.
We're starting off with number 1. This is kind of a trend. I swear I'm rolling the dice. Like, it's not just, yeah. Okay. What was your favorite Appa show, or one of your favorites if you can't, like, distinguish one, that you were in?
I think my favorite was probably The Producers. That was just such a blast. Like, that show is ridiculous, and it was so funny, and we just had the best time. I played Leo Bloom, and it was so physical and like running around the stage, and everyone was in wigs and like the costumes and the set. It was just like, I have nothing but like the fondest memories of that show. It's so fun.
You were hysterical in that show.
Thanks.
And that's such like a hard role to take on because it's so like well known and classic. You did so good.
Oh, thanks. It was like, I look back and after like, I've had several like intense dance tracks now, and that's still like the most exhausting thing I think I've ever done.
And it's not like an intense dance track. It's
Yeah,
just
no.
a physical role.
Just like on stage the whole time. Like, yeah, energy.
Dang. Well, good for you. You good?
Everybody's watching a horror movie. I'm like hearing like stabbing. It's fine. We're all good.
Casual. Okay, we have number 6, which is really good for you. Like, this is a good question. What is one thing that you learned at or took from your time in Appa that has helped you in either college, in your case, or career or life in general? So just pinpoint like one thing.
Yeah. I would say learning how to balance, like finding a work-life balance, like a sense of professionalism, I think. Because when I got to college, I think for a lot of kids, it was a real like step up in intensity and like in like the training. And I felt like pretty confident and steady, like jumping in, like knowing what I needed to get done, feeling on top of everything, able to like take on all the extra things that I wanted to take on because I was taking on a lot of extra things at Appa, and I learned like my limits and like when I can say no to things and like when I have to show up, and yeah, that's really served me really well.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree. I feel like a lot of people I've talked to that went through Appa have that like similar experience. I know I did myself, and I've talked to Hannah and Carly about it. Like, totally prepared me for like a heavy packed schedule in college. Well, thank you.
It's totally different. I agree with that. I was definitely one of the person that even when I got to college, I had a full schedule, not just classes, but I was in a sorority. I had 3 jobs. So, I mean, it helps you. Yes, I had 3 jobs. It teaches you, like, I think definitely being in Appa helped with time management skills and learning how to organize your plans on what you wanted to do in life.
Absolutely.
Good point, Austin. Thank you. All right. Going down my line, I am at Jacob.
Hey, I'm unmuted now.
Oh. Welcome to our Zoom.
Happy to be here.
So go ahead and just introduce yourself, what departments you're in, and what do you do now?
Yep. So my name is Jacob Gonzalez. I am class of 2011, and I was a musical theater major and a dance minor. Nowadays, or before COVID, I was working at Disneyland in a show called Five and Dime. I was playing guitar as a jazz musician, and I was doing that for a couple of years, as well as being a musician in a band and doing pit work in the pit orchestras and musicals and stuff, playing guitar for those. So being musical and trying to stay active in the performance section.
Yeah. Very cool. And then how are you doing like during COVID, like staying like performing or keeping the artistic spirit alive?
Yeah. Well, me and a couple of buddies have actually been playing music, socially distanced gigs, like on people's driveways where they can come out and set up chairs on the street and come see us, and we'll perform on the driveway and kind of make sure everybody stays socially distanced and everything. And that's been a good way to keep playing. Sometimes I play down at the beach too, on the boardwalk. There's a couple little restaurants down there that are having live music.
Yeah.
So I'm still playing and kind of
That's good.
working on things at home, little projects and things I want to get done.
Yeah.
So I'm staying active.
Good to keep it alive. All right. Are you ready for your questions?
Yes. Let's do it.
We got number 2. Okay. So number 2 is, what was an Appa show that you absolutely loved seeing but weren't a part of?
Oh.
So like your favorite that you saw but you were not in.
Yeah.
Or one of them.
That's a tough one. There was a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Honestly, after I graduated, I did come back and I saw Drowsy Chaperone. I loved that show, actually. It was super duper funny. Trevin killed it, and I was just laughing pretty much the whole time. So that's one of those memorable ones that I was like, oh man, like if we had done that a couple years earlier, like that would have been so much fun. Yeah. And everybody just looked like they were having a great time, and it was just constant jokes and laughs. So that was a really good one.
Yeah. It's so funny going back and watching shows. You're like, oh, if I was there.
I know. But it's also cool to kind of watch it from the audience for once. You're like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like, this is what it looks like. And this is how it all plays out. So it's fun.
When they get on the mic and they're like, if you're an alumni, please stand up. You're like, oh, I've made it. Hi.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Always a good time. Okay. And your second question is number 3. What was one of your favorite classes that you were in while you were in Appa?
Oh, that would be probably any of Marie's classes, because as you know, they're intense. You know, but you know, it was always a great time. It was always a workout. It was always intense, but it was also about discipline.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of discipline, and you can't just go in there and kind of fake it. You know, you got to work hard in those classes.
And
but the payoff was good.
Did you go in with a lot of dance experience, or was that kind of like jump head first in?
Yeah, well, freshman year, I actually didn't even start in dance. I never danced before.
Interesting.
And then I got into intro to dance halfway through my freshman year. Mm-hmm. And then I was in, Marie's classes from sophomore year onward. Yeah. So I got more and more practice with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you're still able to keep the arts alive during this.
Yeah, me too.
All right, moving on to our next alumni. We have Ryan, who I actually don't know, which is exciting.
Well, you're all a bunch of babies. I graduated class of 2000, so
That was the year I was born.
Oh my God.
I was 5.
So
Like, stop.
So yes, I'm Ryan Steiner. I am class of 2000. I was the tech theater major, and before MMAT, it was the TV media program, Tower Television, and so those were my 2 programs. Today, I am the CEO and own Pacific Coast Entertainment, and we do lighting, sound, staging for concerts, corporate events, theatrical performances, themed entertainment all over the United States. So, yeah, that's what I do today.
Boss man, we all aspire to be that. We're all a bunch of babies like, wow, teach me.
Just get old like me, you'll be fine.
Very cool. All right. So I'm going to roll the dice. And we have 1, which will be cool because probably none of us saw any shows while you were there. What was your favorite show that you got to be a part of while you were at Appa?
Great question, because now you're asking me to think back 20 plus years.
Yes.
We did a lot of shows. I'm going to pick something then from the TV media side of the world. So Campus Update was the media news program that we did. And previous to Mr. Simmons in there, we would do actually, it was weekly live news to the whole school. So I was the producer and studio manager and was in charge of all the other various producers and shot segments and put all that together for everybody. And that was a lot of fun. That was something that gave me some great leadership skills and had taught me some great management skills and how to work with various team members. And it was always fun getting out of class and getting to run around campus and not do math or English or whatever else I didn't want to do.
Any excuse. We're like, oh, we're artists. Sorry, I can't be in class right now. I have to leave. Very cool. So you said it was live, not pre-recorded?
Correct. Yes, everything was live. So we would Thursdays in the morning we would go live. We'd get in during 0 period. We'd prep all our stories, and we would shoot a live TV program. And so we had live hosts, we had camera people, we did live remotes out out on campus. We had playback from stuff previous. So just like the live news you'd see today, we were producing a high quality 12 to 14 minute program.
That is so cool. I think that they should bring that back. Appa.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, but good experience, especially for real world, like
Very
live
much.
newsroom type situations. That's awesome. All right, your second question is, do you have an embarrassing or funny Appa memory to share with us from 20 plus years ago?
Oh God, I have plenty of those. I'll stick with you. I will give you guys a good story. So Joe Batey had just been hired when I was there. So we all love Joe, Captain Panic as I call him. So that was Joe. Man with the keys, man with the vest, the blue vest. We love Joe. Yes. So Joe had just been hired, and so I was working sound, and I don't remember. It might have been Once Upon a Mattress was the musical we were doing.
Okay.
And Mr. Rotenberry was directing. All know Mr. Rotenberry.
Yes.
He is very proper about how he likes to run his shows and his rehearsals. And I was the sound guy, so I'm up in the balcony, in the old balcony, and I'm running sound. And they love to hand you, a stack of papers. Here, follow the script. And if you know anything about real sound guys, we don't follow the script, we learn the show.
Yeah.
And so I'm making notes on my note sheet on how you do to run sound for this, and I'm not paying attention to the script. And Mr. Rotenberry launches into one of his very many tirades and starts yelling at the cast, and I just tune him out. And I'm doing what I'm doing. They're all on stage, they're all getting yelled at, and I'm making my notes and just ignoring.
Yeah.
And apparently he sent the cast backstage. I'm not thinking much of it, other than the fact I have 20 wireless mics on a bunch of actors that just got yelled at. That's all hot mics. And so Trevor Warren walked backstage and said, "He's an effing mother effer." And that went through the whole PA, through the whole room. And as you can well imagine, Mr. Rotenberry's face was about as beet red as an apple. And he was pissed. And he turned around and looked at me, and I go, "Well, don't look at me. Look at your actors." And he yells at everybody and everything else. And, of course, I had to turn the mics off at that point. But it was classic. Very classic.
Oh, my. Mics being left on. That's probably like the top 3 Mike stories I've heard that just makes you like, no.
You wanted to know who did it, and I knew who did it, and I was not about to rat them out. And I felt bad for doing it because I was doing my job, but I think everybody paid a little price on that one.
Yes.
My favorite Mike story is Alex Jane was listening to his punk, alternative punk song, whatever. I forgot what it was.
No.
And it was and all of us were sitting in the audience during Hell Week, and all of a sudden you hear him singing. We're like, Alex, your mic's on, and he's just going for it. It was I forgot what
not paying attention at the console as per usual.
Yeah, and they're like, stop.
Yep.
It's so funny. I had a show, not an Appa show, but someone went to the bathroom and was playing the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. He actually was an Appa. His name's Devin. He was going to the restroom and making Tin Man like oil leaking jokes during a show. So the audience was hearing this. And I guess we didn't have experienced sound people because they could not figure out how to turn his mic off. And like a producer comes running back to like, stop it, knock it off. And he's like, how do you know? Yeah, so that was
oh my gosh,
getting left back on.
I have a pretty good story. This is recent, so I'm not going to say any names.
Okay.
But because I work there, there was a student, and it was a year that the orchestra could not be there this, like, it was like the last rehearsal before the show. I can't really remember, but the orchestra couldn't be there, so we had to run it with tracks. Mm-hmm. And it, like, the show was going so well. And one of the students, Tim, was like, oh, everything's going so perfect. And all of a sudden, you hear someone's mic is on, and they go, well, that's because the orchestra is not here. And the whole room was like, oh, no. And Tim was like, turn his mic off. It was just like literally, it was so loud. Everyone was like silent, absolutely silent. It's because the orchestra's not here.
Woo! Children, appreciate your orchestra. Oh my goodness. Not children.
Yes.
But like, you can't do what they do, so show some love and respect to them. I know I can. Like, I can play chords on a piano if they're not complicated. So, yes. No, mine's getting left on. Thank you, Ryan. You kind of like threw us all into like are reminiscing of Mike's
story. We all have good tech stories. Everybody, if you're an actor or you're a musician, you always have a good tech story. And techs always have very good stories about them actors and the dancers and the musicians. Where all the skeletons are hidden.
Yep, that is true. So I have a question. Was George the ghost?
Yes.
Yes, and did you put programs in the ceiling?
Yes, and
20 years ago.
So I will tell you, since we're on the George topic, so Joe Bate was kind enough to hire me as the auditorium supervisor when he would go out of town in the summers. And so I did that job for 2 years, 2001, 2002, prior to the auditorium being renovated. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. I'm not necessarily a big phenomenon believer of the George stories, but I'll tell you, there's plenty of door knocks, plenty of sounds. But one particular night, as the auditorium supervisor, you have to go down the building, and you had to check all the doors. So you would physically go and push on these doors. And if I forgot to do this in the sequence that needed to be done, I was doing it in the dark. And that was not an unusual thing. And as a tech guy, you're not overly worried about the dark. Well, a big theater, and you're the only person in there, it makes noises, and it's creepy. And I went balcony, to all the doors, come down into the house. I had done the house right, and I'm walking across the middle of the house, so there's nothing around.
Yeah.
And I hear a voice, enough to stop me, and it was a voice that was breathy, and I couldn't make out a word, but it was a voice. And so I stopped, and I looked around, and I go, great, somebody's in here, right? And I'm figuring it's one of my crew from the previous show. And so I'm yelling, and I'm there, nobody's responding, and I'm now a little bit freaked out. And so I'm standing there looking on stage. We have the ghost light is out, and it is dark. And so I can see the ghost light, and I look beyond the ghost light toward the back of the stage, and I can see a wispy kind of thing. And I was gone. I was gone out the door, didn't care. The door shut, and I'm like, it could be on fire. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gone.
Not my problem anymore.
So, I mean, I will say that I have had in multiple theaters paranormal type stuff, and Huntington is no exception. George, I do believe there. I of course didn't. After the renovation had happened, I was no longer a student there, wasn't working, so I can't say that those have carried on with that.
Yes.
But I know that it was there in the late 90s, early 2000s.
It's still there.
I actually do have a George story too.
Yes.
Because when I was there, people said that it was the stage left section that was kind of the hot spot for things to happen. And
stage left where that happened.
There you go. That's crazy. So
Guys, we're like unraveling the George mystery
I know.
right here.
So it was like after class or something, and I was early for a rehearsal, I think, but I was just kind of walking to the backstage area on that side of the stage, and there's nobody around. It was middle of the day, but there was just nobody there. I was kind of just hanging out by myself, going backstage. And as I'm crossing by like the loading bay area, I'm just kind of walking. I used to wear a little keychain, like a little key ring on my jeans, because I thought it was super cool like that. And so they would just like jingle and hang off my hip. And I felt a tug on them, enough to kind of make me stop and look around. And I'm used to them just hanging off my hip, but that was enough force for me to go, what the heck? Like someone kind of tugged on them. And I said, okay, all right, I acknowledge you. You're here. And then I kind of kept walking. Like you just wanted to know, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah,
I was performing in that theater from the age of 6 all the way onwards, and I most recently choreographed a production of Tarzan that was there, and I never want to be there alone. Like, I love the theater, but I'm like, nah, George, I know you're here. I don't want you to come see me.
I'll give you one better than that. My dad was the auditorium supervisor back there in the 60s, and for a couple of years. And he also had some paranormal activity type stuff in that space. So it's been going on for a long time. And because you go home as a scared, high schooler, like, oh, Dad, it's like, oh, it's been going on forever. Don't worry about it. You're like, don't worry about it. So, yeah, it was, and I've probably been in more places in that building than most people, in the basement, in the crawl spaces, in the attic crawl spaces, on the roof, on the fly loft, in ducts. And I've seen weird things. So yeah, it's there. It's alive.
I think the roof is the only place I haven't been. I was like, I was up to no good. I was always like, can I get into the fly rafters? Let me make friends with all the techies.
Yeah, I've explored a little bit.
Yeah. I think all of us on this Zoom, Austin's like, I did not.
I did not. I was not. I did not. I was like, I'm going home.
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan. All right. On to Camber next. I feel like we need to have a separate Zoom about George, after this. Just George stories. But Camber, you're next.
Wait. Awesome. Your mic cut out right when you said my name, so I thought it was me. So I'm good to go?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Camber Fishbein. I was in the MMET department, which is the popular music for anyone tuning in to this later that doesn't know. And I played bass guitar and graduated in 2014. And I have to give a special shout out to Ryan Steiner, who you just heard from. I've known him and PCE my whole life, so it's such a surprise to see him. Big hand hearts to you too. It's such a surprise to see him this evening. So that's so fun. And now I am a performing musician, bass guitar player in LA and Orange County, a couple bands in both places, doing some remote recording now that live performances aren't happening so frequently, but I've even done some of the shows with Jake and some other bands too. So still keeping it in the Appa family. And I teach guitar at Huntington Beach High School. I was brought in by the new MMET staff in 2019. And I teach preschool too. So
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, music and education, kind of my thing, which is couldn't have it any other way.
Amazing. I love that. Hi, Natalie. We're just going down the line and interviewing people.
What's up, Nat?
So you'll be after Nico. But feel free, like, when we're talking, to jump in, and like if you have anything to add. All right, so Camber, I'm gonna roll the dice to see what your first question shall be.
All right, I'm a little nervous.
2. This is like my favorite one. What was an Appa show that you absolutely loved seeing but weren't in?
Ooh, that's such a good one. I think mine might be a little different. I went and saw, since like I was saying, I knew Appa had family friends in it the whole time. My brother was in it before me. I saw MMET's Retrofest class of 72. So it was when I was in 8th grade and had just been accepted into MMET, so I was so excited. And the music in that one is just so good. Now that all the clips are up on YouTube, I'll watch it and I'm like, oh, now I appreciate the songs more, but it was a really fun one to see that got me so excited about the 4 years to come.
Yeah. That's a good one. I feel like going to see an Appa show, because when you get accepted, don't they send you like a free ticket, like go watch a show? Isn't that?
Oh, I think they do.
I think so. They let me see Chorus Line when I was in middle school.
Yeah, I think that's like a way to, because it does get you so excited. You're like, oh, I can't wait for the next 4 years. They're going to be like amazing.
Yeah, and I felt like I was already in the family because I had known so many people and family friends, but it was just like that much more exciting. So, and the music was the best. Class of 72.
What's your favorite song of the performance?
Ooh, that's
like
hard.
Getting specific.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on
that. Okay, all right. Now we have 5, which is kind of like a generic question, very open-ended, but what was just your overall first thing that comes to mind, favorite thing about being an Appa?
Oh, of course the people. I met some really amazing friends, and especially by senior year, I had a really solid group, which is something that's so great. And even just people I met through Appa Council too that I still know, like Taylor, you're one of them. So I guess, I'd love to say like the music and the performing all of it, of course, but being around such great people too, and everyone has, a similar work ethic and similar values, and just they all enjoy having fun and putting in the hard work is a really good place to meet people and things like that.
I agree. The people in Appa, it's such a nice community, and you really find like your group. And senior year, like that's when it kind of just all comes together. So good,
Definitely.
yeah. And you're still friends with people from Appa, like
plenty. Yep.
It's a good time. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
All right. Going on to Tara, the Spider Woman herself.
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Did I figure out how mute works?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. My name's Tara Coffey. I was Appa graduating class of 2014, if I'm doing the math correctly. I switched up between being a musical theater major and an acting major because I'm indecisive, and I somehow was able to find a way to have dance in there. Like I convinced him I needed extra years of teaching that I could dance some more.
Yeah.
And let's see. Now, as it was mentioned during Halloween time, I'm over at Not Scary Farm.
Tara has props.
Yeah, I've got props. Like, I work over at Wizards of the as a retail relationship representative. So that's the company that does Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, all of that nerdy stuff that I love.
Yep.
And as a side gig, I also write for a live action role-playing game set in the zombie apocalypse. So
that is
a bit of a
like
lot.
The coolest person I know. Thank you.
I gotta write some zombie stuff tonight, so
I'm gonna make you help me with my Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We're gonna
yes, please.
You're gonna give me ideas.
If any of you guys want to play D&D, just let me know. I love it so much.
This is a networking event. You're alumni. Stay close with Appa people.
Yes.
They're the coolest. All right. So Tara, are you ready for your questions?
Bring it.
We have, starting off at number 6, the deep one. What is one thing you learned at or took from your time in Appa that helped you in college, in your career, or in life in general?
I would say that Appa really taught me how to be humble, because in child theater, you audition for the part and usually there's enough cast so that you end up getting it. And over there, you really had to learn how to play to your strengths, admit what you could do better, and instead of holding it against other people who are amazing and just as good for the part, work on yourself and make yourself better so that you're ready for the next time. And I think that bit of humility helped out a whole lot when it comes to especially the college process of just applying for colleges, because learning how to take a rejection is excellent.
Yeah. And I feel like going kind of back to what Austin said too, how Appa prepares you for like a rigorous schedule in college and in life, like the professional world. It really prepares you to be humble in like the professional world. And once you get to a university, because you go to these programs or these jobs where everyone kind of is used to getting what they want, but you're like, nah, I'm good. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. It doesn't hurt me.
It's like, I would like it, but I also know, like, hey, I'm okay if I don't get this, and I'll continue living. Everything's going to be fine, and I'll be here for the next time.
And I'll keep loving the arts. Like, it's not going to break my spirit. Right, perfect. And your second question is number 3. What was your favorite class that you took while in Appa?
Okay, so this is my first theater class, actually. We had a teacher's assistant over there, Alex. I'm not sure if anyone here remembers him.
Yeah.
He was he wanted to make sure that each person in the freshman class really had an emotional moment and was able to almost like break down and be okay to cry. And the amount of effort that he spent, especially for me, because there was just one day when I was auditioning for something and he was helping out read lines and he was like, "Hey Tara, I don't think you've cried in class." I'm like, "No." He's like, "I'll fix that." And then the next day he had an entire lesson planned, like centered on me to make me cry, and there were tears by the end of that day. And I am so grateful for that. And the amount of effort that he went through with each of the students to really sort of unlock that, because just the happy theater stuff, and then it's like, oh, here's some like actual baggage and material that I've never dealt with, and he helped me and all of the students figure out how to connect to it.
Yeah, how to express that like vulnerable side, especially in high school. You're not really used to. You're like, what? Emotion?
Like always guarded, like nobody talked to me or anything.
Yeah.
So having that and just break down those walls was great.
What a good man. And I believe Alex was Appa alum too.
Yeah, he was Appa alum, and it was very much the first year. All of the freshman acting class, we were all like, we've been through the ringer. Like we've been killed so many times in class. Killed. Nobody died.
We're all here.
The only ghost around is George, okay?
George, just George, as we've been over.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tara. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're thriving in your jobs that make me super envious and excited for you, too. Those are so cool.
Thank you.
All right, and moving on to another Appa alum who came back and is a superstar teacher, Trevin. Unmute yourself.
There's the
there it is.
button.
There he is.
I'm acting like I haven't used Zoom to teach this whole time. I'm like,
Yeah,
here's the mute button. Hi, my name is Trevin Stevenson. In Appa, I was a musical theater major, a dance major, and an acting minor back when you were like allowed to do all that. I graduated in 2012. I was only in Appa for 2 years, my junior and senior year. And then now I teach at Appa. I teach dance and sometimes musical theater. I choreograph with Diane on the musicals, and I'm Diane Max's assistant.
Beautiful. We love it. All right. Are you ready for your...
I'm ready.
I dropped
Give it to me.
know what that is.
Oh, no.
All right, you have number 2, my favorite. What was an Appa show that you loved seeing but you were not in?
Oh, man. That's hard because I've seen a lot working there that I haven't been in. So
it's a hard question for you. Narrow it down.
Oh, man. Honestly, I think it's kind of recent. I'd have to say Young Frankenstein. That was Austin was the Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
He was Friedrich Frankenstein. That was probably one of my favorite shows. It was hilarious, number one. I feel like I was probably close to being kicked out for laughing so hard. Like, Diane had to look at me like, okay, calm down.
Stop.
But it was so funny. It was so well casted, so well acted. It was one of the most professional, like, looking shows that I had seen from Appa. Like, as a whole, I was like, dang, I want to be in this show. Yeah. That's the hardest part about seeing the shows now. It's like, why didn't you do that when I was there? Like,
I could have
like when they did a chorus line, I was like, excuse me, wait a minute.
It was amazing.
Let's rewind.
It was like the best. Sorry, Trevin. It would have been so much better if you were in it with us.
No. Well.
Like, well, yeah. All right. Second question. Number 1. What was your favorite show that you were in?
I was only in 4. Well, does that include dance? Does that include a dance show?
Yeah, dance show.
Oh, man, then there's more.
If you can't like favorite number,
I would have to say being in Les Mis. That was just such an experience to be a part of, because, I mean, no high school. Like, I mean, high schools do Les Mis, but like
not like that.
It's like no one does Les Mis. No one like attempts to do it in the fashion that Appa attempted to do it and succeeded.
Yeah.
And Joe built this circulating stage, and it just everything that came. Shout out, like, a lot of people in here. I think were in it. Were you, Hannah? You were in it, and of course Carly was in it, and Jake was Jean Valjean.
24601.
24601.
Yes, that was epic.
That experience was just like none other. And then, and I was just in the ensemble, and it was so much fun.
Yeah,
loved
that's
it.
a like underrated ensemble show.
Yeah,
you know, like you're like, why would I want to? No, you want to be in Les Mis ensemble. It is
you
powerful.
do so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the music is just the sound of it. Like when we all came together at one, like you can just hear you can feel the chills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that was my first year in Appa, and I was like, I remember I came from Missouri, and I came from a drama club where we did one musical every couple of years, and I did one musical in my life before coming to Appa, and then doing Thoroughly Modern Millie and Les Mis, and then doing Les Mis. I was like, wait, what? Like, this exists? Like,
this is Broadway.
Yeah, like,
I
what?
mean, it's such a grand show. The scale of it is humongous.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a big change.
There was another embarrassing moment of mine that I was trying so hard to remember what it was, and it was Les Mis when they had the bridge come down, and I almost got hit with the bridge. I almost died.
Oh no!
I was like, there was some show where I got hit with the prop, and I just remember Diane coming to me, like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Wow, like what happened, guys?" And then she's like, "You almost got hit with the set."
Oh yeah, I can't even count the number of times I've been like a little bit injured by set pieces.
Oh yeah,
you just kind of, you know, your adrenaline's pumping and you're in the moment, so you're just like, oh, whatever. But
well, you know what's funny? I remember in Les Mis the scene where we all die, we all get shot, and then that, like, the way that they had done it was that we all died, and then the turntable spun while the music happened, and it was so epic. But for some, like, you know, us musical theater kids and theater kids, we just go full out on everything. So, like, if you're gonna tell us to die, like, we're gonna die. Okay, you're gonna die. and I fell backwards so hard and like slipped my finger on something on the set. And so all I remember is my fingers hanging on the outside of the turntable. So I'm just like trailing blood in a big, large circle.
Oh, no.
I was like, I was laying there like, I'm leaving my mark.
It's my stage now.
I bled for this show.
You're right.
The blood of angry men.
True. It's Trevin.
Yes.
It's just Trevin. No, that was my Appa show that I saw with my like little ticket you get when you're accepted into Appa. And I saw it like 4 times. I was a bit obsessed. I mean, I knew Carly and Hannah and some other people as well. So like I had that excuse, but no, I was like, I can't wait to be in this. This is the greatest show I've ever seen. This is better than Broadway. Put me in. I was a bit obsessed. Yeah.
Appa is Broadway.
Appa is Broadway.
Yep.
No, guys, Appa will help you get to Broadway or whatever other career choice you have. Okay, so thank you, Trevin. It's nice to see your face. All right, moving on to Natalie, who I haven't seen in forever.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Oh, I am good. How are you?
This is just like so nostalgic. I live in this little teeny tiny island of like the middle of nowhere, California. So seeing all of you, I'm like, oh, humans. Oh my goodness, humans.
Yes. Well, good.
And
Okay.
humans talk, you know, because mine don't talk. So, you know, they're teeny tiny. So
They're teeny tiny. Your babies are so cute, though.
thank you. They're up and coming Appians. If they are not an Appa, if they are not stars, then they'll be disowned by 18. Like they can go off and
You're not mine anymore.
totally kidding.
Come in,
Somebody
Appa.
else's kids. Somebody else's kids. So
Yeah, not mine. All right, so just go ahead and say what departments you were in and what you do now.
so I was only in dance. Which I was only in Appa for a year and a half. I had just moved all the way from Illinois and just kind of said I need to dance, and then got involved in Appa, and it was such a miracle and like a blessing that I got involved when I did. So just dance, and I currently am the worship leader at our church. So I sing every Sunday and lead worship, which is crazy. I'm a part of the Ridgecrest musical ensemble out here. So every year we do a musical, and I'm involved in that. So I do musicals now. I was a newsie. I was a pregnant newsboy last fall.
I did see that. It was pretty cool.
Which is great because I'm supposed to play a 14-year-old famished child boy on the streets, and I was not famished. I was very pregnant and very much so not a little boy. And then I also teach. I was huge. And then I teach dance at our local studio here. So I'm staying involved as much as I can in, you know, the theater. Our town doesn't have a whole lot of opportunity for it, so I'm doing what I can. But
that sounds like a lot.
It is. I do have a full plate, but I mean, you guys know we can't not be performing and dancing and singing. It's like a part of our being. So I have kept it a big part of who I am. So it's been good.
All right, so I'm going to ask you 2 questions with a roll of the dice. That will decide what it is. Okay, so we have, first off, what was your favorite class that you took while in Appa?
Oh, man. Does rep count as a class?
Yeah.
Rep as a class? Okay, probably rep.
Awesome.
I remember my very first class, Marie, I had just taken ballet, and Marie was like, okay, so you're going to go to Studio X and just walk in and you're ready. And I was like, okay. And I walk in, and 30 people were like all doing it. They were practicing Ascended Glitch. If you guys remember Ascended Glitch, they're doing all the like hand stuff, and they turn around, and like clear as day, like Anissa and Zach and Emily Hine, like turn around, and they're like a new person. And I was like, I have never been so intimidated in my life. And I've auditioned for like big things. So it was so like, these are like the legit people. And I remember being so afraid, but it ended up being my favorite class. I mean, just those, you know, all these friends that I've made from there, and then people who got to be a part of it the following year. Just, I loved rep. It was the best. So.
Yeah, I remember when I got pulled up from, in my junior year, modern ensemble to do the senior rep dance. You were like, I was so scared. I was like, I don't want to be here. They're going to eat me alive. And you were so nice to me. And I was like,
oh, good. Well, because I remember, okay, well, side story. later they had posted on the Facebook page, the new girl wears Crocs, because I wore Crocs back before they were cool. Now they're cool. I wore Crocs, and everyone was commenting like, the new girl wears Crocs, and they were all making fun of me. And then like later, I like got added to the Facebook page, and I could see where they were like, who is she? What is she doing? Like, why is she even here? And I remember being like, they hate me. But now, you know, a lot of them are.
Now you're like best friends. They're like,
yes, it all works out. You know, Zach Edwards, as a prank or as like a little joke, got Amber, my oldest child, Crocs when she was born. So it's all come full circle. Crocs are now in.
You are the reason Crocs came back. You brought them back to the world. You made them.
I like to think so, but
it was you. Thank you. They're comfortable. You can't go wrong.
You're so
and your second question is, what was an Appa show that you saw that you weren't a part of that you loved?
That I was a part of or was not?
Were not.
Okay. I saw Shrek. I don't know how many times.
Really?
I live for Shrek. I like want someone to send me the DVD of that musical, because it was one of those, I thought, this can't outdo the movie. Like, Shrek is one of my favorite movies. Like, it just cannot be done.
Yeah.
And I don't remember Shiloh. What did Shiloh play?
He was
Donkey. He was Farquaad.
Oh no, he was Farquaad. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I mean, and then Sam is the dragon, and you know, just everything. It was all just so wonderful. It was that, and also a chorus line really just gave me chills, and you know, gave me my love for musical theater. But I think Shrek. I think I would have to say Shrek. I still have like ingrained memories of me laughing so hard I like almost peed myself, because it was so funny and it was so well done, and you guys were so talented, and it was one of those like, my friends are so cool and so talented. I'm just like in awe of all of you. It was just incredible. So
Natalie, Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
Oh, Shrek is love and Shrek is life. For
Shrek
sure.
was so good. My
sure.
middle school took a field trip to Shrek, and I remember just being like, this is so good. I was so excited.
Hannah, the picture of us in our costumes comes up every year, and I wait for it in March. And every year I'm just like, Tim put me in a beehive wig with a blue eyeshadow. Oh gosh.
Honestly, good though. I liked your costume a lot.
Tim just would pass me and be like, how'd you like your outfit, Carly? And I'm just like, Tim, this beehive wig hurts my head.
I liked the beehive.
Are you kidding me? I just got out of my costume. I was tied in.
You too. Oh my god.
You had your little
I
thing.
was really excited in the fact that I was able to somehow talk myself into being in Shrek through the Shrek run. I was like, you couldn't be in the acting main stage and musical theater main stage for some reason my last year, senior year. And I was like, okay, I'm not in it. I'm just helping out with production. I'm just a stagehand. And then it's like, get in a costume and help out with harmonies. Like, who am I to say no? I'm like,
I remember you were like, I'm gonna just stand here and like be on stage, but not.
I smuggled myself into that show, and I don't regret.
No, it was amazing.
Great.
Well, thank you, Natalie, for bringing Shrek memories back. Always a good.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life. If somebody has that DVD, send me a copy. I want to watch it, and you guys were so awesome. So
I think we got it. Yeah.
Send it my way.
Someone send Natalie Shrek. All right. Thank you, Natalie. And last but not least, we have Nico. Hello.
What's up? My name is Nico Portante. I was a theater major for 3 years because I didn't know about Appa before I went to high school, unfortunately. Since then, I'm still acting. I'm pursuing an acting career. I've been doing several things. I have been doing Not Scary Farm with Tara. We were in Ghost Town together. I also did a little bit of modeling. I work with a media company called Arsenic. And yeah, I'm still pursuing acting. That's all I wanted to do.
Very cool. Okay, well, I'm going to ask you your 2 questions. We had 3. What was your favorite class while you were in Appa?
I think that's easy. Actors repertory.
Yeah.
I had probably some of the funniest memories there, not just during class, but when we read through some of the scenes in class when we did the bully plays rehearsals, and that I know it's supposed to be serious, but it was more funny than serious. So yeah, that's my favorite class. Always has been.
I heard a lot of people in that class, they loved it. Like Tara was in that class too. Everyone that was in that class loved the experience and said it was really good acting training too for a high school program.
It was, yeah, the comedy club. I miss doing that.
100%. It was a great class.
Yeah, cool. All right. Second question. One, what was your favorite Appa show you got to be involved in?
That I wasn't involved in?
You were. So you were either backstage or on stage.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this is a very unpopular opinion with everyone in theater. I'm the only person that thinks this, but my favorite show was Picnic at Hanging Rock. I know nobody liked that show, but I liked it. It was mysterious.
I liked it.
It was intriguing.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's like some paranormal crap, you know? Like, I felt like this was based on a true story or something. I enjoyed it. On top of that, it was the biggest role I got at the time, so I really got to show more of myself as an actor, and that senior year put me ahead so much, and I'm extremely grateful for it. So
good. Yeah, no, that show was wonderful. I liked it. I feel like I saw way too many Appa shows. What was I doing with my life? I never left there all 4 years, every day. Well, thank you, Nico, for sharing, and thank you for hopping on with us.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more. Kareem hopped on. Thank you for joining us after your class.
You're welcome.
So, what you're going to do is just introduce yourself. What departments were you in Appa, and what do you do now?
Okay, my name is Kareem Al-Khuli. I was in Appa for technical theater. Currently, I am going to Cal State Long Beach and Orange Coast College to pursue my career in film department, or film production, I should say.
Yeah, very cool. I just did makeup on one of his film sets where he
Thank you for your help.
directed and produced and was just an absolute leader and a star behind the camera. All right, so I'm going to ask you 2 questions. They're randomly selected by my dice. And your first question is, what was your favorite thing about being an Appa? Very general, very generic. Just the first thing that pops into your mind.
Oh, I would have to say the environment. I mean, you get to be involved with so many different people, so many different cultures, so many different characters around. Everybody's welcoming, everybody's forthcoming, and you just have, it feels, at the end of the day, you come in there like you're scared, it's your first day like kindergarten, and then at the end of the day you leave with a family.
So true.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love the Appa family. And it didn't matter what department you were in either. Like, you made friends in other departments and you stayed friends with people.
100%.
Which is so cool. Okay, and this is good question to end the evening on. What was one thing that you learned in Appa that you took with you that has helped in college, your career, and life in general?
Wow, okay.
He's like, no.
I guess, I would say don't say no. I mean, you're given the opportunity to do stuff to prove yourself. And I took that, especially for film production, there's so many, it's a very competitive industry, especially in theater, also a very competitive industry. And there are some other people that undermine you, or, that, you feel intimidated when you're around them. But one thing that Appa was, it encouraged you to push you forward and to keep growing and keep going and keep going. Yeah.
That's so true. Appa was so good at, I feel like Appa was really good at preparing students for the real world, whether or not you're going to stay in the arts, in the tech business, in theater, in music, entertainment, media, whatever it was, it prepared us for the real world. I'm getting nods of agreement.
Definitely agree.
Yay. Okay. Well, thank you. Wait, that was your second question? Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming. Can we all just say bye before I stop recording?
Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for joining. You don't have to log off. Okay. I'm gonna pause.
Thanks, Taylor, and thank you to all of the Appa alumni who made this event possible. Remember, you can donate to Appa all November long. Just follow the text message instructions on your screen. Or simply visit hbapa.online/donate. The link will be available in the bio for this video. If you're an Appa alumni and would like to be in the next Appa alumni video, simply send us a Facebook message or an Instagram message to let us know. Thank you.